Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the cards for the 9th of March 2017. I nearly said 15 there. That's quite bizarre. Um, right, a few little things I just need to say before the cards today. I really like the cards today, actually. Uh, I've had people messaging me. I've had loads of messages. So sorry, there's loads of stuff here that I just knew I had to address before I started the reading. First of all, thank you. Massive, massive thank you to everybody that send me messages, that's watching these videos and everything like that. I know I keep forgetting to say it, but please, it's like every day I'm blown away by the kindness and, by the fact that you are taking time and taking something from these videos as well. It's hugely humbling and, I love it. So thank you so much. So I've had quite a few people messaging saying that they're in Australia or they're in the other side of the world, so they're not getting these videos until sort of the following day. I'm sorry about that. I really am. I mean, what has been happening? Obviously, I wasn't expecting, this many people to watch them. What has been happening is if I do them on the night time before, usually I've, done readings all day. And as you've probably noticed by now, my readings get pretty intense. There's a lot of energy comes out in within my readings. I was once told that I was an all or nothing type of girl, and that is totally me. If I'm into something and I'm doing something, it has 100%. So if I've done a full day of readings to then sit down and do a reading like this has completely, I'm usually pretty worn out, because I do, like I say, I use a lot of energy within them. I am going to change that, okay? Not changing the energy, but I am going to actually sort of, from next week, I am going to sort my time out so that I can actually do these videos the night before. So you will get them on the right day in Australia. You might not get them first thing in the morning because I don't want to actually go too far ahead. What I do is I usually sit and I feel the energies for that day as well. So I feel that if I'd done them a week ahead or whatever, I feel that that would affect the readings in some way. So I will do them the night before and I will actually get them put up sort of before I go to bed so that those in Australia will get them at some point on the same day that they're meant for. Okay, so I hope that helps. Those of you who are sort of, other places, you will still get them the same. They will just probably be there a little bit sooner. I'll try and do it for the rest of this week. We've only got a couple more readings to do, but as from next week, I will do that. So thank you for alerting me to that. And like I say, these readings are for you, so I will try and make any changes that I can that will help you and you can get the readings better. Um, Secondly, as well, is people have been messaging me asking if they can donate for these readings as well, which has again blown me away, and again, I'm hugely humbled by that. And yes, you can if you want to. I accept anything but blows. That's the thing. But no, to be truthful, people have been messaging and they have recognized the time, the effort, and the energy that goes into doing these videos, and that is really nice. A lot of people just take things, and they take and stuff like that, but people wanting to give something back because they believe that they've got something from these readings, is it's a beautiful thing. So I'm not going to go too much about it. I'm not going to say, like, I'm not going to do a Bob Geldof and say, give me your money. I'm not going to do that at all. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the description now, which is under the video. I'm going to put a clearer link to my Facebook page, a clearer link to my website, clearer links to where you can pay for readings, and I will put a donate button on as well. So if any of you do feel it in your heart that you want to give something back, if these readings do resonate with you, then it would be humbly appreciated, but it's not necessary. But like I say, people have been messaging me asking how they can do that. So I do have to address that as well, and like I say, thank you for that. It really sort of warms my heart, that there is people out there who do actually appreciate it, and the message I get off all of you, saying that you appreciate those readings, it's, that really does mean the world to me. Okay, So right, now I can get on with the video. I've taken care of business then, So I hope that made sense to some of you. But like I say, I did actually, somebody sent me a book yesterday, a book that they've wrote to just say thank you for one of the monthly readings as well, which is great. I'm dying to get the time to actually read it, and I think I probably will this weekend, but there's a lot happening this weekend as well. So, thank you so much for that. It's like I say, I don't know. I have a bit of a problem with receiving. This is one of my problems, and I am working on it, and I have dear friends who are pretty high up within the spiritual world, and they always say the same to me. I do have problems with receiving, but I'm working on it, So I'm like, just take a deep breath, Tanya. Don't let it embarrass you. If somebody wants to give you something and somebody wants to give you a gift, then you accept it, But I think I'm sort of, I've always been the giver, and to be on the other side of that, actually, it's it's a challenge that that I am working on. Okay, so right, talking about challenges, I lead it. See what I've done there? I went straight into the card of today. So the card of today is the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands is about challenges, Whenever we get to fives in the tarot, the story of tarot, I really want to do a video one day about the story of tarot. When I get the time, I will, because I want to add more videos on this. And I am still working on doing the live readings as well. I need somebody to come down and technically help me with that. But I am on the case, and then I will do live readings on YouTube, not on Facebook, on YouTube, so that you can all come and you can all send me messages and I can pull cards for you. And, we can have a little sort of tarot party, and ask me anything, ask me any questions as well about my life. I'm very truthful and I'm very honest, and I will answer you truthfully. So that will be interesting. I think I'm putting myself on the block there, aren't I? But that's it. It's sharing is caring, isn't it? That's what they've just said. So right, sorry again, I'm really off on one today. So this is about challenges, and like I say, when we go in the story of the tarot, when we get to fives, we're in the middle ground. So this is where it always brings confusion. There's usually, quite a lot of chaos as well. So we have the beginnings, then we have sort of the twos, which is like forming something, the threes where we're building, the fours where we get to sort of a stability, like a stalemate. But then comes the fives, and this is what knocks us out of our comfort zone as well, because we cannot just sit back and think, oh, right, okay, this is it, and we get into a state of apathy as well. I seen a really good thing today. Somebody sent me, and it said, what's the difference between ignorance and apathy? And it was like, I don't know and I don't care. I really found that funny. So what this card is saying, when the book is beautiful within this card, within these cards, and what it actually says within the book is, only fools seek contentment. In doing so, they abandon themselves to the pits of nothingness. They let their fires fade to cooling embers. They suffocate their flames with too much stability. So that is what is written in the book. That's not what I'm giving. But it makes so much sense, because like I say, we get in this state of, all right, okay, everything is okay now, so I'll just put up with it, or I'll just settle. This card is saying no, you can't do that, because if you settle, then you've got to be prepared for what you get, which is not what you deserve, Like I say, we are meant to live these abundant lives. We are meant to experience things on a very, very deep level. Like I say, I'm an all or nothing. And that means that whatever I do it to the best of my ability, and I feel, and it's passionate. There's a passion in whatever I do or feel. If I don't feel that, I cannot be into it. I cannot. This used to happen at school a lot. I was quite bright, but if it wasn't getting me, if it wasn't making me click, I had no interest in it. Even subjects that I didn't like, but if I liked the teacher, or if I, if it excited me, then I wanted to learn everything about it. So, I don't think there's anything wrong, and I will not change into that. It's like I say, it's all or nothing. And what this card is saying, this is it. Are you content with settling? Are you content with okay? Because if you're content with okay, then you will get okay, you know. And this card is saying, look at these warriors. They're actually attacking a hippo there. Now, I don't like any violence towards animals in any way, but within the Greek mythology, what this card is looking at is hippos were seen as trouble. They were seen as being troublesome creatures. They were seen as being connected to evil and connected to darkness, So they were actually quite feared, they weren't good animals at all. And if we have a look here, we can see these warriors and they're attacking that, they're prepared to fight, for their peace. Peace is different to stability, because if you are staying in a situation, or a job or whatever, where it is stable, but you haven't got peace of mind, it's different, So there is a big difference between the two. And some people think, oh yeah, this is peaceful. It's not. It's just, it's got nothing around it. There's a nothingness with it. So what this card is saying is that a warrior does not lie down and submit. A warrior realizes that the tests and challenges within life are actually joys of life, and they know that when they actually sort of get through these tests and challenges, that they will gain something from it. And we need to remember that the card that comes after the Five of Wands is the Six of Wands, which is victory, recognition, and self-recognition as well. And what we need to remember as well is that nobody ever became great without a challenge. You look at anybody who you deem as successful, and they will have experienced umpteen challenges throughout the way. People that have things handed to them on a plate, there is no appreciation, but there's also no self-appreciation because they haven't worked for it. They haven't struggled to get it. When you struggle to get something and when you fight for something and then you eventually get it, it tastes so much sweeter than somebody just handing you it, If we think, great leaders of our time were not elected during peaceful times. They were elected during troublesome, chaotic, destructive times, because this is when people said, we need a change, we need something different. And people were prepared to fight. And these great leaders stood up and they were prepared to fight for the people as well, So this is saying that we at the moment are experiencing a war, Like I say, there's the outer stuff that's going on, which I don't like to get too political within these readings, but we are experiencing a sort of evolution war, I feel, more than anything. And this is a war between our ego and our soul, and they're both wanting to win. Our soul does it quite peacefully and does it quite gently, but the ego is our, this is what we need to battle against. And it's like, it's like this battle between the light and the dark as well. This is why so many people are turning to spirituality now, because we need all the light workers. The world is at a point where we need people who are going to make change, and they're going to do it from a place of love, not from a place of power, which is what is happening with the ego. And we need to see, we are having a war at the minute between truth and between illusion. So this is what we are doing. We are all seekers, every single one of us. And that is because we know there is a truth there. We know there is something more, and we are seeking to understand that more and to find that within our lives, So when you are experiencing this, you have a choice. You can say, right, okay, this is what's happening. I'm just going to lie back and I'm going to do nothing, and the universe does help us, but we need to help ourselves in this as well. So what this is saying is, when you feel that blood coursing through your veins, when you feel that fight come back, because a lot of times when we're going through troubles and challenges, our fight can go, we can feel like it's gone, and our shoulders droop and we think that's it, but we cannot roll over. We cannot roll over and just let the waves wash over us. We need to stand up and we need to fight for our life, and this is not a way, of like fighting for our life in a, all right, okay, or we die, but we die spiritually. We become emotionally and spiritually bankrupt if we settle for okay. So this card is talking about that fire that will curse through your veins, when you feel that fight come back. And this is usually when we are at our darkest as well, you know, when we are at the bottom. This is when we feel this fight come back, and it's sort of like an adrenaline thing. My grandfather, he died when I was very young, but he had a car crash, and he went over a cliff in like a truck. And he was a big man, a huge man. Oh, there's Hendrix just coming to say hello there. He wants to be on camera. So he went over this cliff, and what he'd done is he climbed out of the cabin, and he climbed back up the cliff onto the road to flag somebody down to take him to hospital. When he got to hospital, they'd said, "How did you? There's no possible way you could have done it with the injuries you sustained. You shouldn't have been able to walk, yet alone climb." But he knew if he had have stayed where he was, that was it. He would have died because nobody knew he was there. Nobody would have heard his screams. So he found this fight within him. And even though there was, you know, broken bones within his body, he pushed through that, and he actually got himself to the top of this cliff, you know, in order to save his life, you know, in order to carry on. And I've always loved that story, you know, because like I say, he was a very, very powerful man. So this is it, you know, you hear of stories about, you know, mothers lifting cars if the kids are trapped under them. And this is it, we all have this fight in us. But when things are okay, it's sort of, we don't feel it. When we know that there is like basically nothing left, or there's no other option, this is when our fight will kick in, and this is when we will feel powerful, and we will step into warrior mode as well. Now, this is quite interesting, this card coming out today, because on the 12th of this month, we have the moon going into Virgo. And Virgo is the thinker, you know. Virgo is any of you Virgos out there. I'm a Virgo as well, and you know what goes on in our mind. You know, it never stops. But Virgo is also the warrior as well. You know, now a lot of people think that Virgo is classed as the virgin, you know, and that is not true. What Virgo was she was a woman that couldn't be owned. So she was not owned by any man. She put up resistance. She was independent. She stood up for herself as well, you know. And what this is saying, when the moon comes into Virgo, which, like I say, it will be affecting us now, because it's usually 2 weeks either side, you know, it's usually 2 weeks, like a week either side. You know, and this is saying that we are going to feel this power within us. We are going to feel this strength, like sort of bubbling, you know, bubbling inside of us. And we are going to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. We are going to stop being the victim, you know. We are going to stop getting irritated and annoyed by challenges, you know, or things that have set us back in the past, you know. And this is a time that we're going to step up, we are going to rise up, and we are going to claim our power. So this is about like rising up for yourself as well, you know, and seeing what it is that you need. So this is a time of saying, no, you know, we're going to stand up, and we're going to say, no, this is about me now. You know, so like I say, Virgo, don't see Virgo as being soft and caring and nurturing, which it is. It's a very, very nurturing moon, you know, but it's a very powerful, it will be a very powerful moon, because Virgos are often very powerful, and they're also known as healers as well. So this is a time when you step into your power, you will actually realize that this is a time for self-healing as well, you know, and you will remember your own inner strength and your own inner power here as well. So there's a big clearing coming, but in an absolutely beautiful way, you know. This is what I'm feeling with this moon that's coming, and I keep saying I'm feeling something happening, and it is, you know, there is changes. So this is saying that if you have been down, if you have been felt like the fight's been like taken from you in any way, this is saying that your fight will now be renewed. You know, you will find that it's like an inner passion coming through, you know, and you are now prepared to stand up and be brave. You know, brave is tackling whatever is in front of you and knowing that you will push straight through it. people try and go around it or over it or under it or whatever, you know, and like, that's not there. It's like a huge elephant or a huge hippo in the room, actually, you know. But this is a time of tackling it and tackling it head on. And when we take a stand, this is when we can make the changes necessary within our life, but also within the world. You know, this is how it fits. When we have nothing to fight against and when everything is okay, this is when we settle. This is what I'm saying, you know, and we get this, all right, okay, and we lose that fight. We lose that passion for life. And life is meant to be lived. It is such a wonderful gift that every single one of us has, you know. So this is also talking about your passion for life being rekindled. You know, it's like the fires are starting again inside of you, and you're suddenly feeling like alive. You know, this is it. It's like you're feeling alive again, and you are prepared to tackle these challenges head on, because you know you want to move forward. You know you want to get the place of the Six of Wands, where it is victory and self-recognition and recognition from others as well for your bravery. So we have the moon there as well, you know. And like I say, this is dark here. It's nighttime where they are actually battling here. And this is, you know, look at the muscles on these guys. This is like a time for you to flex your muscles, you know, your spiritual muscles here, you know, need to be out in force, because yes, there is a fight going on, but you are strong enough to actually tackle that. So that is the tarot card of today. I love it. I really like, sort of, like I say, warrior mode, you know. So then the Osho card is Know Nothingness. Now, a lot of people don't like this card, but I absolutely adore it. And I think this is one of the most powerful cards within the Osho Zen Tarot deck. But, you know, it's pure black. There's nothing there, you know, and a lot of people see that as being a bad thing, you know, and black isn't. I mean, black's a wonderful color. Whenever I read, I always wear black, because it sort of deflects any energy. It's a protection color as well. So what this card is saying is, when there is nothing there, you know, and you have no expectations, then you have no fear. And this can be disorientating, and this can be scary. It's like, right, okay, I want to fight for my right, but then what is afterwards? Where am I going? What is it really I'm fighting for? Because with this card, it's like, what are you holding on to? There's nothing there. It's like you're feeling like you have no sense of direction. You know, you might be like sort of drawing a blank within your mind of where you want to go. You know that you want to move, and you know that you want to change, but it's like, what is it I really want? Now, when we have this, what this does is this opens up so many possibilities for us, you know. So it's like, you know, there's anything could happen, and that is the beauty of this card. You know, it is the state of pure potential. You know, there is so much potential with this card, because there is nothing mapped out. So it's like, you know, it's like yesterday when I talked about the fields. It's like being in this big open field and like, right, where do I go? And this is what the universe was like, you know, before the Big Bang. It was black, and then bang, suddenly, and then things start to change, you know. So what this is saying is, relax into this know nothingness, you know, accept it. And fall into, you know, fall into this place of, right, okay, it's a time of manifesting, of really seeing where you are guided, but also putting the intent behind it as well, you know, and listen to your breathing. This is what this card says as well. You know, how many of you actually notice the breaths that you take on a daily basis? And if you just sit, you know, I do it quite a lot. Hendrix lies on my like head on a nighttime, and I actually just listen to his little snores, and it's, you know, it's really, really calming. And what I've actually found is that because I'm listening to that, it's like this sort of, I don't know, it takes me back to like childlike, where I feel very soothed, and then answers can come within my head. So this is saying, you know, to listen to your breath, you know, notice it coming in, notice it going out, you know, and realize that even in that moment of doing nothing, you know, you are having an experience. You are alive. You are breathing, you know, and that is a gift that some people don't have. And you are breathing without help or anything like that. You are doing it because that's what comes naturally. So like I say, accept this time, you know, fight for what you want, but know that, you might not know what's coming, but that is okay. That is in a really, really good place to be, you know? So this is saying that there is something sacred really about to be born. And this is what I've been saying. Now, within this card, I always say that, like, if you imagine, if you walk into like a dark room, okay, where there's no lights on and you don't switch the light on, it can be a bit unnerving at first, and then we need time to settle into it. But then what happens, because there is no light, so we cannot visually see anything, what happens is we have to go into our feel. We have to turn our senses on, our spidey senses, So the only way that we can maneuver in this dark room is to actually feel our way around it, We listen to the sounds. So our hearing gets really, like sharp, because we're listening to see, right, is there danger there, or is there a way out? Which way do I go? When there is nothing to see, what we only do is we start to trust our senses to get us through, to get us out safely. And we know that as soon as that light comes on, everything will become clear. But we already have figured out what this place is like, because we have adjusted to our surroundings. So it's sort of like we are able to see in the dark, but we are not able to visually see. But within our head, within our hearing, within the feeling that we're getting, it's actually allowing us to tap in to our soul instincts, so that we can, navigate our way around. And then as soon as we put the light on, it's like, yeah, well, I knew there was a chair there, or I knew that was there, because you go into this knowing. And this is what all of us have. We all have this potential. A really good exercise that I often do when I'm teaching tarot is I get somebody to pick a card up and not look at it, and just feel what that card is, and does it feel good? Does it feel bad? Does it feel sad? Does it feel happy? What do you think? And by just getting people, because a lot of times they work visually, and I work visually, I'm an artist, so when I read tarot, it's all very visual. But this card, it takes that away. So something that I've relied on, and that's quite strange, they're bringing that in there. So something that you have relied on to show you the way, when that suddenly goes, or that's not there anymore, this is when you need to navigate yourself. And this is when you can do this by feeling. So by then not being a picture on here, it doesn't say anything, but it says so much. It actually says probably so much more than other tarot cards as well. And it makes no sense, but it makes so much sense as well, So it's like I say, usually it's imagery that you're guided with within tarot, but this is about turning on your feels, and seeing. Because when you are in the dark, right, okay, which is where you probably are if you're going through this battle and this struggle, what you need to do is you need to get into your feel, and you need to sort of tap into this, turn this on, and see, right, okay, what is my next move? Because when you feel it, you will know. When we have too many stimuli on the outside telling us which way to go and stuff like that, they will, it can confuse us in a way. It's really strange. It's just brought back in there again. When I mentioned my granddad being in this car accident, it was in a place about two years, about 2 hours away from where I am now. And my mum was never a good driver. Bizarrely enough, she was killed in a car, which was not her fault. She was a good driver, but she wasn't confident as a driver. But she got the phone call to say that my granddad was in hospital, and she just got in the car and she drove. And she didn't look at a road sign or anything. She just got in the car and she drove, and she actually landed at the hospital 2 hours away. I done that one night. There was a dear friend of mine was going through a bit of a problem, and I got quite a distressing phone call from them. And I knew something was up straight away, and they put the phone down, they wouldn't answer again. And I just got in the car, and I don't know how I done it, but I actually drove to exactly where they were. And I still to this day don't know where it was. I just said, please help me. I know they need help. And I was there within 5 minutes. So, that was, I got into my feel. I didn't need to look. I didn't need directions. I just got into my feel. And this is what this card is saying. This is what you need. There is perfection waiting for you. there is so much waiting for you. And if we have a look at this, this is sort of like, it's like a blackboard, you know. I don't know if you're allowed to say that now within schools. I don't think they are. But if you have a clean blackboard, then it's up to you what you put on it as well. So it's like you decide what should actually go on there. So this is about wiping the slate clean and starting anew and afresh. So it's quite a beautiful card. Can you see how there's nothing there, but there's so much there, you know? Because this is it. When we strip the ego down as well, and we haven't got these structures that we feel we need to cling to or whatever. When it's all gone, you know what that does is it frees us to, you know, sort of be the painter of our own canvas. You know, that's it. You know, we can be the painter of our life, and we can put on it whatever we want and use whatever colors we want as well, you know. So the Colette Baron Reid card is Truth Be Told, and this is in the protection position. And what this card is saying, and I really feel like I say these three are linked. I mean, they always tie in some way, but what this card is saying, it is saying that, like, you need to look at areas within your life at the moment where you are actually in denial, you know, not denial, you know, but denial. And look at areas where you are being dishonest with yourself and with others. Because if you are in this place that we've talked about where you are settling and everything is okay, you know that you are not being true to yourself, because you are not going after the life that you could actually have, and that you know deep down you should be having. So any areas within your life, whether this is jobs, relationships, you know, where you're living, anything like that, look at where you are denying the truth here, because this is what this is saying. Also look at other people as well who are around you, and look at where they could be misleading you, where they could be withholding information as well, and where they could be coming from a hidden agenda. You know, have they got in their mind the things that they are doing? Is this because it's the best for you, or is this because this works for them better as well? You know, because a lot of people are quite tricky with that. A lot of people do it without even consciously knowing, you know, but their instant thought is, what's in it for me? You know, and that is working from an ego base, you know. So this card is telling you that you need to ask for the truth, even if you don't like what you hear. Even if you don't like what you hear, because by acknowledging the truth, this is what will lead you to a very beautiful future. I was just talking about this last night, actually. Doing readings is a very strange thing, because there are a majority of people phone or go into a reading wanting to know where the blocks are, and they've got to be prepared for what they hear, you know, because, you know, every reading I do comes from a place of love, but, you know, spirit or love, and what they do is they will tell you the truth, and this might break the illusion that you have made up in your mind. So I've done readings for people where they want a reading because they want a comfort to say that they're on the right path or they're doing that. And if spirit don't believe that, then they will tell them. And some people don't like that, and they're not prepared to hear the truth. And they will go, oh, right, okay, rubbish reading, absolutely rubbish reading, nothing connected, blah, blah, blah. 6 months later, they come back and go, you know, when you said this and that, and I didn't want to hear it, well, that all came out, and now it's, you know, and it's like, right, okay. I know when I'm connecting with a reading. It's very rare that I don't connect with a client. If I don't, I will say, I'm sorry, I feel I'm not connecting here, you know, but I know when I'm connecting. So I know that the information that I'm giving out is going to help that client, but I cannot make them listen to that. That is them. And like I say, a lot of people would rather live a lie than, you know, than hear the truth. And that is their thing. It will come round eventually, you know. But it's, you know, look at areas, you know, are you living a lie just because the truth might be uncomfortable, and because the truth might bring in these challenges? Okay. So this is what this card is saying, you know, and once you tell the truth to yourself, once you accept the truth as well, and think, right, okay, this is going to be challenging, but I know I've got to push through this, this is when you will feel the burdens lift. You know, it might not make the problems any easier, and it might not make the challenges any clearer, but what it will do, it will lift the burdens that you are carrying. And it, because when we are in denial, what we do is we impose this on us, on ourselves, because we know in the back of our mind, it's like having this little nagging thing all the time that's like, we know that it's not right, and we try and push it away and push it away, you know, but it's not going to go anywhere until we actually make these changes. So when we tell the truth to ourselves, and when we tell the truth to others as well, what happens is this sets us free, you know, and it sets us free to fight the good fight, you know, stand up for our rights. That's Bob Marley. What is that? Yeah, stand up for your rights. I don't even know what that song's called. I'll have to, yeah, stand up for your rights. To be able to wipe the slate clean here and to tell the truth to yourself. And this is what is required now. You know, it's not a choice. It's not an option. It is what is required of you now in order for you to get out of this safe and actually relish the life that has been bestowed on us, and the gift of life that is actually there as well, you know, because yeah, we're having the test here, you know. It's like, right, okay, you've done the work, and you're now going to be put to the test and see how much do you want this, you know, how much do you want that. And you know, I feel that this fight is coming back, you know, this renewed fight, this renewed passion, you know, and this grabbing life by the hands and saying, right, you know what it is, I'm going to live you to my fullest. Okay, so I hope those made sense. I really like them there, you know, and like I say, we've got the Virgo moon coming on the 12th. So be prepared, you know, this is warrior time. Stand up, step into your power, and be a warrior, you know. And yeah, it's a good time. It is, it's a good time. So if anybody would like a reading from me, please get in touch via my Facebook page or via my website. As I've said, I'm going to change the description below, so everything will be listed, so it'll be much easier to navigate as well. Like I say, if anybody does want to donate, you know, that would be massively appreciated, and you know, it would help this channel run as well, because there's, you know, there's a lot of hours goes into this as well, you know. And a lot of people have actually said to me, or I've been advised to go on Patreon, where people actually pay to subscribe to get the videos. I don't want to do that, you know. I don't want to do that. I feel that by doing these videos, the message gets out to those that need to hear it, you know, and I don't want to limit that, you know, for a few pounds. That just isn't me. And as long as I can continue doing these readings for free, I will do that. You know, this is what I'm told to do. I'm told to give something out, you know. But like I say, if anybody does want to give back, then you know, that's great, you know. And just have a fabulous day, you know. But I do have readings available. They are getting booked up, so you know, people are phoning and wanting readings same day. I do same day readings. I do keep a couple of appointments every day for same day readings, but they are going very, very quickly, you know. So please be aware that I cannot just read for you when you decide that you want that reading, you know. It's it does have to be put in, because I have to respect other people as well, and I also have to respect the time that I take on the readings as well. I really have to be strict with time now, because you know, I've had readings where they've ran over, and then that is then ran over into somebody else's time, you know. So it's not me just being pedantic or being arsey or anything like that. It's because, you know, there is dedicated slots for people, and I want everybody to be able to get the best that they can from their reading. Okay, so if anybody would like a reading, please get in touch, and I will see you tomorrow with the cards of today. Have a fabulous day. Sat Nam.